Hi, this is Rich Voltz, and I'm going to go through a quick tutorial to teach you how to make a Google document that later we will learn how to share. You can make a Google document very similar to the way you use Word, for example, in Microsoft. The difference between Word and the Google document is the Google document then gets saved up on the web in your Google account, and then you can go back and work on it from anywhere, anytime, and be able to not only see your last revision, but see any revision you had made in the entire document. The first thing we'd have to do is make sure that you are signed on to your Google account through your password. And I can see I'm in my Google account. Then on the left-hand side, besides our normal Google searching, we have a couple of extra buttons here. One is called More, and then another one is Even More. And most of you probably haven't even looked at a lot of these Even More Google documents, but there's many Google applications that we can use to enhance our work as school administrators. So I'm going to go back here to More and go to Documents. And what we're going to be asking you to do is to start a new document. So this is my folder of all the documents I've done. If you're just starting to use Google, your folder won't have anything in it at this point. And you're going to choose New, and then you're going to choose Document. What will pop up then is a word processor by Google that looks a lot like any other word processor you've ever used. So for example, if I'm going to start this document off, let's say I'm going to do a administrator meeting agenda. So I'm going to want to have a title. So I want to center justify it, and maybe I want to bold my title, and I'm going to make the font just a little bit bigger in the title. So I type in here XYZ School District Administrators Meeting December 7th, 2008. So now I have a title, and I'm going to want to go back and make it a left justified, and I'll bring my font down to size 10 for the actual agenda itself. Now look what just happened. The first line that said XY School District then ended up being what Google Document saved my document as. Later you could go back and change this if you wanted it to be something else, but let's just leave it there at XY School District. So what's the first thing you're going to do for your agenda? Remember, we can make this very similar to a word processing document, so let's number it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is to take attendance, and then maybe we want to review the agenda with everybody. It'll be our second thing. The third point might be approve previous minutes, and then we would have the agenda for this time. So let's say for the agenda this time, we're going to discuss the Web 2.0 workshop that's coming up. We're also going to discuss how we can use the Web 2.0 information, and then maybe we also want to discuss who should be making the decision to open or close websites, and maybe we want to discuss allowing students using cell phones in school. So let's say that's what's our agenda going to be. Well, you have typed it out, and it is saving, as you just saw up here. It's saving your document every once in a while. Now, in addition to saving this on the web that you later can go back and get this document at any time, I also can share this document with somebody else. So let's say I'm going to want to share this with another person. I can choose the people to be collaborators, and that means they would have rights to change anything we're doing, or I could just have them as viewers. So I'm going to invite myself on another email account I have to be a collaborator. So I put the email address, and you could put as many email addresses in here as you want. You just separate them by a comma, and then you don't have any space before you put the next person's email address in. Then you would invite collaborators, and you can see that it's saying it's working. You can put a message in here. Please edit my agenda and make suggestions for changes. You can put whatever you want in there. Then you can CC yourself, and then you send it to the person. So if I pick send, now it's going to my rvoltz@mac.account. And when I get to my rvoltz@mac.account, or you'd be doing this with your neighbor here in a few minutes, they can then edit that document. Now, one thing I would suggest that you do when you edit, if you're working with 3 or 4 or 5 people, is that everybody would edit in a different color. That way you can know who has done the edit. But by the way, when you go back to editing the document yourself, you'll have a chance here under Tools to be able to see with revision history exactly who has worked on this. For example, in this revision history, I'm the only one who's done anything. But if I had given this to you or to another person to work on and they did something, then they would have their name in here and it would be another revision. And at any time, I can go back and click and return to one of the previous revisions if I didn't like what they had done. So that's generally how to set up a Google document and then how to share the Google document with others.